The other big debate tonight is, even as the world is battling a crisis of unprecedented proportions, there are some who are busy curating a false narrative in India. Their agenda seems to be that of misleading Muslims into thinking that the lockdown is just an excuse by a so-called Hindu majority state to snatch their freedoms and persecute them. The idea, it appears, is to make Muslims believe that they are second-class citizens in a Hindu nation, and it pains me, as I admit tonight, that some people have started playing into the hands of their hate mongers. In fact, I say this after getting inputs on the persistent attacks on the state's health workers when they enter Muslim majority areas. It's not a coincidence that it happens in some of these areas more pronouncedly than it happens in other cases. In several instances, there have been deliberately twisted to make Muslims believe that the state actions are against their interests. Time to punish a divided India lobby? That's the question we are asking, and that is the only legitimate question. We have to punish those who create this kind of a divide India and want to malign India. That's the question and the big debate. Islamophobia lie exposed. The debate on the other side.
You're watching the News Hour at 9. Debate number 2 on Times Now. Super Prime Time.
And joining GVL Narasimha Rao and Dr. Anand Ranganathan are Lieutenant General V.K. Chaturvedi. He's a signatory to 183 veteran patriots who have written a letter to several chief minister and also to the Prime Minister, MC Abbas, political analyst, and Tehseen Poonawalla, political analyst. And Lieutenant General V.K. Chaturvedi, I want to ask you, why do you see this as a deliberate design? Is it because what is being stated by certain people within India then gets actually magnified and run even in newspapers like The Guardian, The New York Times, The Washington Post, and many other foreign media outlets, and that's virtually almost as if India is being maligned for Islamophobia, a crime it hasn't committed? Mr. V.K. Chaturvedi. Okay. Tehseen Poonawalla, why don't you take that question?
Well, you know, Navika, the fact is when a sitting member of parliament handpicked by Mr. Narendra Modi ji speaks about women's orgasm, Muslim women having lack of orgasm, when a sitting minister handpicked by Mr. Narendra Modi ji, she says you're either a Ramzada or the other word I cannot even say, it had to be censured. When the Prime Minister of India himself said that terrorists can be identified and rioters can be identified by the kind of clothes they wear, we have a rising bit of discrimination or Islamophobia spreading in our country. But that is not a debate. Let's just ask one thing about news channels that were supposed to be messengers. Every single news channel, and rightly so, blamed the Jamatis, which Amit Shah had given permission for the spread of the virus. Today, Ahmedabad has the highest mortality rate. Today, Ahmedabad has the third highest cases in the country. And it is on the deathbed. Times of India says 8 lakh cases by the end of the month. It is because of the Trump-Modi event. Why is Ahmedabad not signaled out? Why is Mr. Modi not signaled out? Why were the Jamatis only
GVL Narasimha Rao, I think even scientific information about a congregation of the Jamatis happening here, it's not about all Muslims, it's about the Jamati congregation that was always being talked about, and that nobody was coming forward to actually identify themselves, but that they will not see it in the light that it was meant to. They will make Jamatis as representatives of the entire Muslim community. But respond to the questions about Gujarat raised by Tehseen Poonawalla.
No, I think these are too ridiculous, even deserving a response. I think, again, Ahmedabad is largely an account of Tablighi Jamaat, and the infections are more in the areas in the walled city where a lot of these Tablighi Jamaatis who have returned to Gujarat live. There is no secret about it. And if a fact hurts somebody, let it. If China has spread virus to the world, do we say no? China is completely. Have we stopped taking the name of China? Do people not say it all began in China?
Fair point. Ashutosh, I want to ask you. You know, there has been a propaganda that has gone on for many years. if it is,
Navika.
if it is, 1 minute, if it is Afzal Guru, then that was a judicial killing. He was a terrorist who was accused of an attack on parliament. What did the judicial killing have to do? Shaheen Bagh evacuation, just when corona scare began, again targeting of Muslims. Sharjeel Imam's arrest, again crackdown is linked to Islamophobia. Markaz probe, also the same thing. Zafarul Islam, the Delhi Minorities Commission chief, police action, again vendetta. I want to ask you, why is any kind of crime referred to with the religion also? Why don't we see crime in the way the crime is or terror is?
No, I think I just want to remind my friend GVL Narasimha Rao that you should go back and read the statement made by Mr. Bhagwat on 27th April, and very, very categorically said that the crime of you should not be because of that paint the entire community. What is happening in the last 1 month? That entire community has been painted. Entire community has been painted, and there are 3 studies on this. The 3 studies on this. The Michigan University has done the study, and then the Boom has done the study. All the fake news has been spread by. But who has spread these fake news? Why the government is not going and finding out who are these people? Why the Saad has not been arrested till now? Is the Delhi police so incompetent that they cannot locate Saad where the Saad is? Why is not arrested if the case is so strong? So that shows that there is a pick and choose. So for certain people who will be very active, like about people involving into the anti-CA rat, you will go and arrest them. Fine, go and arrest them. But people like Saad is not.
So, Dr. Anand Ranganathan, the argument by Ashutosh, does it justify the appearance of headlines in Guardian, in New York Times, in Washington Post, in Al Jazeera? Are we giving them a handle to paint India in a certain way? And I want to ask you also, Maoists, underground armed war against state, but the rhetoric is they are painted as victims of oppression. Afzal Guru, Zakir Naik, Burhan Wani, look at the way they talk about him. Even Riaz Naiku, was referred to by an international wire agency as a maths teacher. Is this a coincidence?
Maths teacher, yes. No, Navika, no, not at all. Navika, I have said this before and let me repeat it. I have a debit card, you have a credit card, possibly many credit cards, and these guys have a victim card with no expiry date and a pin known to anyone who's seen the film Diwar. It's just incredible to see this victim card being handed to snake oil salesmen and women every hour of every day to buy this entity called transfer of guilt. Honestly, I am in awe. I mean, here is Tejasvi Surya, who quotes a Muslim verbatim and without adding his opinion, and yet he's accused of Islamophobia. The fact is that these accusers are the real Islamophobes. They fear Islam. They fear to make public the word of the holy book in its entirety because they fear being called illiberal or hypocrites. They snare the fundamentalists but spare the fundamentals. Otherwise, I challenge these pretend liberals to tell me the prescribed fate in their holy book of homosexuals, unbelievers, blasphemers, fornicators, dress code violators, idol worshippers and apostates. And let me end by saying, marriage of a Hindu man to a Muslim woman should not be allowed. What happened? You are shocked? You think I'm an Islamophobe for saying it? You want an FIR against me? Well, I have just quoted the order from the Holy Book, chapter 2, verse 221. Do not marry your women to polytheistic men until they believe. आप किस पे FIR करोगे? Or if you condemn this irrefutable, unchangeable order of the Holy Verse, then say so. I dare you. Better your head on the block than mine.
Well, Dr. Anand Ranganathan does sum it up absolutely succinctly when he says that this is not a debit or a credit card. This is a victim card without any expiry date. Is that true? Is India being labeled Islamophobic because some people want to use this as a strategy? And 183 respected citizens of India have written to the Prime Minister saying, is this a design of Pakistan and ISI? This letter has also gone to all chief ministers. What do you think, ladies and gentlemen? Should this victim card be continued to be allowed as a license in India? That's the question. Thank you very much to my guests for joining me on debate number 2. And with that, it's a wrap on the Newshour tonight. I'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Right now, stay tuned for Padmaja Joshi and the Newshour agenda.